Hey guys, it's a new vlog and also a new year. Happy 2026. Where did 2025 go? I would say 2025 was not one of my best years, but it wasn't bad. It was just average. I mean, in terms of the business, it was kind of bad. But like as a whole, meh, average. But you know, we got plans for 2026. 2026 is going to be the redemption year. Now, new year, newly dyed hair. Pretty much the same color as before, just freshly dyed. Although I didn't use the same dye because I used that Joico stuff last time, which was nice, but it stained everything so badly. It dyed my whole body pink and I just can't deal with that. So I'm on the hunt for something else. And so what I used this time was the Wella Color Charm Vivid Darks for dark hair. I don't have dark hair. It's like medium tone, I would say, because it's an ashy brown color and it lifts very easily. So I was a little scared of this. This is violet specifically because I mixed magenta and violet. The magenta looked red, like both in the tube and in the review photos I was looking at before I purchased it. So I was like, I'm probably going to want to mix some purple in there. And there were two purple choices, this being the warmer toned of the two. So I put in a third of this tube and then a full tube of the magenta. I feel like I could have done more purple because the purple is always the first to fade. And under any kind of warm lighting, it's automatically going to look more reddish. And I don't really want red hair. I want magenta hair. I want like pink hair, you know? So we're trying to err on the purple side so that it doesn't look too red. And using more purple would actually be beneficial because I was running out of dye at the end. I was struggling to saturate all of my hair. So I do need more dye. So if I put in more purple, I'll have more dye. Just something to think about for next time. And then I also repainted my nails and I chose the hot pink color because of the hair. Like I don't want the dye leaching out and staining a pale nail color. So, you know, if this absorbs some pink, we're not even gonna know. My holidays went well. We went to visit family for Christmas, and the second we were back, I was scrambling to order some stuff. I wanted to order some sticker sheets and prints because there were Boxing Week sales on. So I ordered the print restock finally, and a bunch of sticker sheets that you would have seen in the previous vlog. So that's one thing off my to-do list. Let me grab my yearly layout. My incomplete layout, subject to change. That's why everything's on little sticky paper so I can move them. I was looking here, big collection #1 in March. In order for that to be feasible, I have to design it the year prior. Like I should have designed it early December or something because anything I want to order from overseas is going to be impacted by Chinese New Year. So realistically, I don't think the update would be until April. Plus March is 2 months away because we got all of January, all of February, and then boom. Even if I do mid-March, that's 2.5. And Chinese New Year is in February. So I think it's going to have to be April. But the coloring book is on its way. And the company said it should arrive at port on January 3rd. And I'm assuming that's the Vancouver port. And then we just got to wait for it to be delivered after that. And I want to drop some stuff in January. But the coloring books are so close that I'm like, maybe hold off on my January drop until the coloring books arrive. Because I want to restock the cat and dog tees, the Gallery Cats, Gallery Dogs, but also release a new DTF design and set all that up to be like a made-to-order system. And then the sticker sheets. So we're mostly there, although I did not get a DTF shirt design done yet. But yeah, coloring book maybe could move to January. And then whenever the coloring books are ready is when everything else releases. That way it's all together. Because one of my goals for the year is to do more frequent small drops throughout the year. And because of that, I've reintroduced holds on my store. So if you want to order something, you can place a hold to then order some more stuff later. Although I'm limiting it to 3 months. Otherwise, it's just going to get to be too much. But just based on timing, I think coloring book could move here. It'll be second half of January. But I think we can move it. And yeah, let's move big collection #1 to April. I still don't even know what the big collection is going to be because I thought of the Bumblebee design. It's been something I've been meaning to do for a long time, but because it's going to be a sketchbook, I want to wait for the sketchbook to get here to do the bee drop. So the bee drop's going to be big collection #2 later in the year. And something I just cannot get out of my brain right now is frogs with bows. And then I'm like, Bailey, I told myself no green. No green for this next shop update, or like minimal green. It's not one of the main colors, but I just can't get this out of my head. And then I'm like, well, I could do 2 different color schemes the same way I did with the stationery collection, but it's just kind of, doing that is a lot, and trying to decide how to split the inventory is tricky. So I feel like I should just do one thing. Because the frogs, I grabbed some Copics to show you. I'm picturing these kind of colors, so like green frog, pink bow, and then some kind of soft brown beigey accents. I keep picturing a wooden spoon in a kitchen, so I'm like, should it be kitchen themed? I don't know, but maybe again, that's not for this update, because I was thinking what would the DTF shirt design be, and that's how this came to be. And so I could still do that, but then I'm like, a whole frog collection would be so cute. And then I'm like, that's the struggle. I come up with an idea and I'm like, but that could be a whole collection. And I've also been wanting to do something that's this kind of color, like darker black and purple with some pinks in there, like a hot pink sort of. Because you could easily do a frog recolor of that, where it's like a purple frog with a pink bow and things like that. But that doesn't have to be the frog update. That can be something else. Because again, do I really want to do 2 separate color schemes for this collection? Maybe not. So I'm trying to keep that collection and the DTF shirt in mind, because those are the next big priorities. Because if I, the next big collection, I should be designing that stuff now to have ready in time. And then, yeah, the DTFT, I want it designed this week. That's one of my big priorities for this week, is the shirt design. I sat down to design this shirt like 2 weeks ago, but I ended up doing this instead. So part of me is like, maybe we don't introduce a new DTF design yet, and we just do this one, which I plan to do as embroidery and have an option for both t-shirts and sweatshirts. So like, maybe we just do that instead. And maybe the DTF comes later for collection number 1 or something. I don't know. Because I don't want to force the creation of the DTF design, especially when I have something right here. But also I can't get the frogs out of my head. So that'd be such a cute shirt. Oh, and I Googled purple frog. The first 2 image results were this. Result number 1. What is the face shape and what is that booty? And then the second one, look at this cute little snout thing. Oh my God. I don't even know if that other one's real. I'm skeptical. I gotta look into it, but there are multiple photos of this type of frog. This one says, what in the world? Yeah, that was my reaction too. And for the record, that's not the frog I want to draw. I want to draw like a regular frog, but stylized, cartoony. But I just thought that was so funny. I had to share. So anyway, I'm feeling inspired. I've got some ideas. I just don't know what ideas are for right now. I gotta flesh things out, brainstorm a bit. Because also I'm trying to incorporate like creative hobbies or just hobbies in general into more of my work. And so I'm like, okay, we have frogs, but what are they doing? Like I said, I couldn't get wooden spoon out of my mind. So they could be like cooking, baking or something. That's not where my mind was going when I thought creative hobbies. I was thinking more like drawing, painting, knitting, crochet, needlepoint / cross stitch, or a kitchen theme one would be cute too. And then it got me thinking of geese with like a nice soft blue, like the Mother Goose stuff that was popular back in the day. It'd be fun to do some variant of that. So many thoughts. Yeah, I'm gonna sit down, brainstorm a little bit more, and I'll get back to you, I guess. And when I say I want to stay away from green, it's just because Forest Cuddles and Shady Shamrocks and Gazebo Cats were very green focused. It was not a collection, but combined, they almost make a collection. And since those were so green heavy, I'm trying to steer away from that for the next collection.
I'm supposed to be thinking of other ideas. We already had the frog idea. Blue frog would be cute. A yellow frog would be cute. But like I said, those Copic colors I had out, just like, oh, I can't get that out of my head. So let's try to think of new things. Wait. What if you got Pikachu cheeks? Okay, ignore overall shape, but imagine Froggie. And then like a really big bow. I can't get that out of my head. You know what? Why fight the inspo? Why fight it? Let's do a Froggie shirt. Who cares if I end up doing a Froggie collection later? Like, let's do Froggie shirt. It was also one of my ideas for an embroidered t-shirt, but I was picturing something more simple. But I'm thinking like a large DTF graphic for the front of a t-shirt. If we're inspired to draw frogs, let's draw frogs. I don't know what to do for the toes. Like, a little stubby arm, cute, but like it's a frog. it's got the webbed toes. I feel like we need some degree of toe, but maybe like it looks a little cursed. And this is kind of cute, but does it even still feel like a frog at that point? Wide stance, like a pit bull, but that feels more like a toad. I mean, it can be a toad. I do kind of love that. Oh. Okay, I felt like it didn't look that frog/toad-like, so then I shaded it in a bit, and now it feels more like it. Maybe needs little spots. I don't know about on the forehead, but... That's so cute. But now do I still want the bows for this? If I'm gonna go toad, maybe not. Because I still like my idea of green frog, pink bow. That might not be what I'm doing right now. We could always revisit that someday, but this I'm picturing a little more orange. I feel like whatever I do next, I want lots of blue in it because it's been a while since we featured blue. But I'm thinking like a soft blue, a baby blue-ish, like maybe this or this. I guess kind of like a Little Duckies collection, although the Duckies themselves weren't blue. The background for all the Ducky merch was blue. Would it be too similar to Little Duckies though if I had like yellow frog, blue water? Maybe. I guess there doesn't have to be water featured. For the shirt, I keep picturing lily pads and like water accents. Because even though I'm picturing the wooden spoon thing for a frog, that's not necessarily what I want for the shirt. I guess I'm kind of picturing both. Like not a solid image, but there would be things like maybe lily flower on a lily pad and like Froggie doing something here, and then another lily with their Froggie. That's kind of getting like the Little Duckies drawing, I guess. Like not the Little Duckies collection, but the drawing. It had lily pads. But also that doesn't incorporate a hobby. Oh god, I was doodling like a mixing bowl, and then I was like, oh, my original spoon idea. Let's draw that kind of separate, because it's not necessarily a scene, just like an amalgamation of objects. This is kind of how I pictured the spoon thing, although I put the spoon, or the bow on the spoon instead of on the frog. But like, imagine a little big bow and a froggy. This would be so cute. I drew a frog poking out of a bowl. And then I was like, you know what this reminds me of is tea, like a cup of tea and a spoon. Because it could be toad tea time. That doesn't really stick to my hobby idea though. At least baking is a hobby, you know? And it can be creative, okay? People do lots of creative things with baking. So, yeah. I also love the idea of some kind of scene that's got a frog and then a little bee friend. But even something like a spoon could be replaced with like a marker or a pen. I'm trying to avoid paintbrush because of the kitty paintbrush idea. Oh my god, help. Bend that nib. And it's not that the frog is coloring per se, it's just hanging off of it. Again, it's a little nonsensical. It doesn't make sense. But there'd be like multiple props and multiple frogs throughout. And I don't know why I'm picturing a miniature frog. I'm sure that's fine, but it can be bigger. Also, a term that keeps coming to mind is if it was a crochet themed one, it could be crochet. Crochet. Probably been done, but I just thought of it. Frog could work well with painting though because of paint water. That could be a frog in the paint water. Because it's not like I can't do any other painting themed merch. I assume I would do a lot over the years. So it's not like I can't do a frog in a painting scene just because I did the cat with the paintbrush in its mouth. I just spent way too long Googling cute frogs to try to make sure my frog doesn't look too close to existing frogs. Although the simple kawaii style, kind of overdone. I saw some things that were close-ish, but not quite like this. But also, I'm not going to see everything. It's just always my fear is like, am I subconsciously basing this off of something that I've already seen? Also, this is a little more stylized than I typically go for. It's like very simple. There's even simpler out there for frogs. There are some that are just blobs or like circles, basically. Yeah, I don't know. This one's nice and cutesy, but still has a sizable body. What's going on over here? I sent Christian a picture of the frog and this was his response. Oh? I was picturing a paint palette with a bunch of frogs on it. Maybe at more of an angle than this. Maybe more like that. And the blobs of paint are each a frog. And then you got like different colors. That'd be so cute. But as soon as I drew that, I was like, That looks like a lily pad. Lily pad paint palette. The thing about this is it's a chunk. I was picturing like something kind of rectangular with pieces. Because with DTF, it can feel like the texture can be kind of weird when you have just one giant chunk of a graphic. But I just like the idea. And there'd have to be a paintbrush behind it or something to really sell the palette idea, I think. And I don't know if it would really come across, but what if those are the leaves, or the petals, sorry, of the lily flower? Probably won't really register as that, but just a thought. The thing about this idea, though, is I feel like it suits like a frog with less body, like kind of exactly this, but the body cuts down sooner so that it feels more like a blob of paint. But I didn't really want to do blob frogs. The frogs would be at slightly different angles. So one could still look like this, and then other ones could be a little bit more of a front view. I like that idea. It's not originally what I was going to go for, but it's too good. I have to proceed with that. I'm like, surely someone's done this idea, though before. I can't find anything from a Google search. Doesn't mean it's not out there. This is probably the closest thing I'm seeing. The lily pad is a paint palette, and the frog is sitting on it holding a paintbrush. That's super cute. And like that. And a lot of it's just palettes, like color palettes. That's not what I'm looking for. Like, that's a good sign that nothing's coming up, but yeah. Whatever. If it is done before, I'm doing it my own way. Okay, I'm just looking at this, giving it a once over. I don't know if I like the ratio of pink here versus here. Like, there's maybe too much handle showing. I also don't know if, like, should the paintbrush be sticking upwards through the hole? But then I feel like it's not as obvious that that is a hole. I like seeing it so it feels more palette shaped. And then I did make the bristles brown. If I made it a lighter color to try to mimic the leaves or like the petals of a lily flower, I feel like it doesn't come across. But I'm just not 100% convinced that's where the paintbrush should go. But I do think it's so cute. And then I just had a thought. Maybe one of the frogs should have been backwards and we should use butt. Someone mentioned frog butt cheeks recently. But I think I do want them all facing forward. Ooh, something that might make the paintbrush feel less awkward is just paint blobs around it. This does help tie in the other colors a bit more. And I did just shorten this handle, just so that everything's kind of contained in this rectangular space. Ignore these swatches. Ow! Oh. I just tweaked something down below my thumb. Okay. Those swatches aren't there. That's pretty cute. And now there's the question, traditional art or digital? Because I feel like it would pop so nicely if it's digital color, like mostly flat, maybe some cell shading. But at the same time, DTF is my chance to do full color printing, right?
because with embroidery, it's got to stay simple, flat color, DTF. I can do anything I want, really. But because it's so like chibi and cute, I feel like maybe digital. And if that's the case, then we're halfway there. I just got to do the cleanup, redo the lines cleanly, and then the color and shading. Now, my one other question. Does it look like this frog is peeing itself? I made sure that was not the yellow frog. There's just a tiny blob of yellow there. But should it be completely separate? Because we do have a lot of empty space here. I could move the purple blob over. Because it's also messing with his silhouette. So, might move it. So before, after, before, after, before, after. This does feel a little more balanced, I must say. We don't have that big green spot. Although it was fun having one paint splotch overlap a frog. There is green in there, but at least it's done in a different way. It's not green and orange, which was pretty much my entire 2025 art. Because I always forget about the butterfly one I made to hang on the wall, that really big painting. That one's orange and green. Everything was orange and green. At least all my full big illustrations. Now, even though I plan to proceed with this for a shirt, I still want to do frogs for the next collection, I think. And even if I end up going with a green frog, I can still use other colors. Like, let's say it's a froggy in a pond or something. The water can be blue and with some purple in it, maybe even rocks along it would be purple. Like in my Forest Cuddles illustration, the rocks were purple. So we can lean heavily into some of those other colors while still having the frog green if I want. And if there are multiple frogs, I can still do multiple colors. Because I still really like the idea of either a blue or a yellow frog or both. I don't know. Either way, I think we'll just move forward with that because that's what I'm feeling excited about right now. And we might as well go with it, you know? Why try to force something else? And it's now Saturday. Yesterday was game stream day, so I played some Pokemon Violet because I just got the DLC. And then played Peak with viewers, and we used a mod where you can have more than 4 players. So we had a big group of us, and it was a fun time. And now today, back to more creative stuff. I just feel like I'm in a little creative flow state or something. Like I'm just excited to work on stuff, and that's probably what the focus of this vlog is going to be, is just making art. First though, I'm gonna go eat, and I want to show you the trees outside because they have that light dusting of snow on them. They're just like fully coated, you know? Ah. This is what I'm talking about. Ah. Gorgeous. When all the trees are covered in white. I could just stare at it all day. What is it? Yeah, you have some food. Yeah, you still have some. I still need a coffee. I slept in today. I woke up at 9:45. That's unheard of. During the week I have an alarm set for 7, but I had nothing set for this morning and I just slept right in. But it was glorious. Got some Pokemon on the go. Let's get some new battles going. Okay, Auto Battle has lost twice now. I might have to just fight it manually because the computer's dumb. Mega, oh my god, this account is new. It only has the default Sand Slash deck. It's not gonna win this fight. Not on auto, anyway. This one's not running any battles right now, just these two. Christian got groceries yesterday. Yes! And Friday's our takeout day, so we got ramen, and I still have some left over. So that's gonna be my lunch. Oh yeah. Still have some egg pieces in there too. This is what I do sometimes if I'm scared of splashing onto my sweatshirt, is I fold it up. You have to have a shirt underneath for it to work. Otherwise, this would be very cold on my belly. But yeah, that's my quick fix bib. Using a fork feels sinful. We have some reusable chopsticks, but they're so slippery because they're plastic coated. So like I used the wooden ones that came with this last night, but now I don't have them. And we usually use these spoons, but they're dirty. I suppose I could have washed one, but eh. That was delicious. And now Banan. Oh, I also need to grab my abandoned coffee. What? This account desperately needs some trainer cards for their decks, so I'm trying to send some over. I was able to share a card. I can't send shares, but I could receive shares. But you can only receive one per day. So I sent over a Sabrina. I guess tomorrow I'll send over Cyrus. Because I was able to make a Solgaleo deck on this account because I've been opening solely Solgaleo packs. But there's filler stuff in here. Like, I don't want the Magirna and Farfetch, but I just need something. The Big Malasada, the Rotom decks. I'd rather have other stuff in this deck, but I'm just using what I have. But look at this. Wow. It's so huge on the iPad screen. Whoa. I don't even have this on my main. I might have to trade it over at some point, but cards of this rarity cost a lot to trade. I also just don't use the Solgaleo deck anymore on the other accounts. I don't know if it's worth trading it over, but man, it's gorgeous. You can really see all the gold in here. Oh my goodness. And the only reason I'm battling on this account is to get some shop tickets to buy the hourglasses. Oh my gosh, I have some hourglasses. Let's go. I'm trying to pull Full Art Lily, which is why I'm opening this pack. See, there she is. And then I'll trade her over to my main because I'm chasing the Full Art trainers that I use in decks. Not every single trainer, just the ones I use. Okay. Cutie Fly. I love Cutie Fly. And I love this card art. Ooh. Not what I'm after, though. Christian's singing. He's in the shower right now. He's singing some French hunchback songs. The bib did save me. I got a little splash. My Angela Jasmina sweater. Now, before I get back to art stuff, I want to make a waterproof card game score sheet. So you saw me making those notepads of card game score sheets in recent vlogs. I want to make a waterproof version using my laminator. And the reason I'm doing this is so that it can be used poolside or in the pool on a family vacation that we're going on. I'm just trying to plan ahead. Like, we're not going anytime soon, but I'm just like thinking ahead to the trip, trying to get some things in order because we love playing card games. Christian's parents love playing card games. It'd be fun to play some there. So I bought some waterproof cards. They feel pretty similar to real cards. The difference is they're 100% plastic instead of being a plastic coated paper. Ooh. They're really slippery, but I guess any new deck is slippery. They're pretty smooth on the back, and then they've got a texture to them on the front. I don't know if you can see that at all, but yeah. It's pretty cool. So there are two decks. So yeah, we could use these poolside or in the pool. I'm kind of hoping. I ordered an inflatable table. I'll put in the photo from the listing, although it's like photoshopped, so it's not what it actually looks like. It's not very big, actually. The photos make it look a little bit bigger than it is, but that would be so easily collapsible to just fit into a suitcase because we already bring inflatable pool thingies, like pool floaties when we travel. And so this would just be another pool floaty to bring. And hopefully it's allowed because like other pool floaties are allowed. So you think this would be as well. I don't know. If they say we can't use it, we can't use it. We'll stick to poolside. But I thought this would be fun. But I need to make a waterproof score sheet. And also I got dry erase markers to use on the score sheet. These are not waterproof, but I feel like as long as the cap is on and as long as they're not thrown into the pool, they should be fine. And they are fine. Tip. Like just, not this whole blue area, but just that tippy part. See that? Wow. But now I'm thinking the score sheet, I want to make it a little bit bigger than how I typically print them out just because I am using a marker instead of a pen. So it's going to be harder to do small lettering. I guess numbering. And lettering because you have to write people's names at the top. So hopefully my original file for the score sheet is bigger than what I printed out at. I think it is. So I should probably bust out the laminator now and get it warming up. Oh. I can't remember what setting I used last time. I think I did 5. Because with 3 I had to send it through twice, if I'm remembering correctly. Now, unfortunately, the original file is the exact printout size. Ah! Why, Pass Bailey? Why? I'm still gonna make it bigger, and hopefully it doesn't look too pixelated or anything. I just feel like we need a little more writing space. This is a test on regular paper. Ha! That's a good size. I'm now going to print it on cardstock, and I'm going to attempt double-sided. Hopefully it aligns correctly. Okay, I'm holding this up to the light. It did not print centered at all. Like here on this side, the border looks pretty even, and then on this side, the border's really uneven. Top to bottom. See, narrow at the top, thicker at the bottom. But side one was good. I almost wonder if I should just print on 2 separate pieces and then stick them back to back. That was my original plan, but I just wanted to see if this would work. Okay, I was going to reuse this sheet, but I'm paranoid we're going to see the lines through. I don't think you would. But I did I printed off 2 other ones anyway. And interestingly, both the new ones printed with this skinny top, fat bottom border. So I don't know what that's about. Because this one printed correctly, centered. Whatever. The key now is going to be getting both of these cut to be the exact same size. I might cut one and then glue it to the back of the other one and then trim again. I just got to hold it up to the light while gluing to make sure I've got it in the right spot. Actually, this calls for the light box. Instead of trying to hold it up and align it. Just a little bit of glue. We don't need much. I feel like to get an accurate cut though, I'm gonna have to cut a little bit more off of the first one I did. Like, am I gonna be able to get this right up against? So we cut a short edge first. Ah. Oh, that was perfect. It didn't leave any white, and it looks like I didn't cut off any color. Ooh. Can I do it again? I'd rather cut off a little too much than not enough because it's hard to cut just a skinny strip. I did do it again. Oh, yes. Okay, definitely cut through both layers a little bit at the top half of that one. I could feel the increased resistance. Oh yeah, and here's my sliver that came off. Same on that cut. Okay, but that was pretty good. I think that's as good as it could have gone. So now they're perfectly aligned. Which side opens? Ah. Ah. Hello. Okay. You know what? I'm just going to center it. And then I'll trim it down after. Hey, it turned off. Hey! Okay, it's ready. Let's send it through. I'm excited because this is the first time I've used the laminator. The first time I've used the laminator since laminating my HelloFresh recipe cards. Oh no. Why did the front crumple? I even put the sealed edge in first, which is what you're supposed to do. I'm going to try to send it through again to see if it'll straighten out. Look what it did. Plus there's just a pretty big gap on the sides. So yeah, let's send it through again. But I'm gonna have to go the other side first. Just because that's the flatter side. Because now both sides are sealed, so I don't think it matters now which side goes in first. Ah, yo. Anti-jam it says on it. Yeah, sure. Okay, that did successfully flatten out the other side, but now this side's crinkled. I wonder if we can iron that. It's like rigid. Like, why do I hear something loose rattling in there? Is there something physically blocking this? Okay. It didn't jam this time. I wonder if the 2 layers of cardstock is too much for it. Okay. The corner's still pretty crinkled. Like, it even bent the cardstock a bit. But you know what? That might be the best we get. Does this really need to be pristine? Probably not. Like, even this edge is going to have a bit of a bump to it. Okay, I've left a generous border just to make sure no water is going to get in there. But there's one more thing I want to do, which is round out the corners. I love me a project that lets me use multiple gadgets. I don't know if this is going to cut nicely because it's kind of flimsy. Oh, it worked. Rounded corners, baby. Okay, now let's test the dry erase on here. So you can label your rounds, or like label who's dealer. For Lamsey, which is what this score sheet was originally designed for, it goes ace through jack on the side, or ace through king, sorry. And then can mark the initial of the dealer. Now, I don't know what we'd use to wipe it off. We'd have to, like, if we're in the pool, get out of the pool, I guess, to wipe it down. It might be a little harder to erase if it's not freshly written like I just did. So yeah, I'm a little sad at my edges being crinkled, but it's not worth printing out again. Like, this is fine. It might even get beat up in the suitcase. Who knows? Now I'm not afraid to mess it up because it's already messed up, you know? Feels nice and sturdy. I mean, I could get a dry eraser and keep it on shore, I suppose. Because it does transfer the ink, so I wouldn't want to use our towels or something. I mean, I could just bring a rag, really. We've got this box of white Costco rags. Just bring one of those. That should work fine. Yeah, let's do that. Because something like this, if it gets wet, it's toast. But those other rags will be totally fine. Ha! And yeah, double-sided's nice in case you're playing a game that runs longer than 13 rounds. You can use the backside. Is this unhinged of me? Maybe. Devising ways to play cards in the pool. Now I'm going to return to the Froggie paint palette art and do the clean digital version. So I can hide all my color layers. Hey, why are they coming back? Get out of here. Oh, that's all on its own layer. Why did I do that? I might make a couple tweaks to the actual lines. Like, this is dangerously close to a tangent here, so I'll fix that. This I think is too blobby. I don't want all the paint blobs to look the same, but this one I feel like draws too much attention, especially when it's colored in. So step 1 will be clean line art. Step 2, flat color. Step 3, shading. Okay, hello. Oh, you're on the keyboard.
ma'am. Move this booty. Move this booty. I'm wondering how pointy to make this piece because I want it to look like a palette, but also want it to look like a lily pad.
So,
You know what? That's too thick. Let's go. So I want to start with the lily pad, but maybe I need to start with the frogs just to establish the line thickness. Okay, I think I like 15-point lines. Let's stick with that. Yeah, I got a little Tiki Toot in my lap. Oh yes, Kiki. I already gave you so many pets. How many more do you need? I'm covered in fur. What? No open GL? Why? When in doubt, reopen the program. Ha ha! Okay, here's line art. I gave some thickness to the lily pad all around, not just the folded up edges of the leaf, and moved where some of the inner lines were, just so they lined up nicely with the frogs. Plus, I was looking at more lily pad pictures, and it seems like the lines kind of radiate out from where this little bit is. So, yeah, there it is. There's so good. And I haven't outlined the belly lines or back spots because I feel like that should be color only. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do highlights or not, but it looks so cute. Without width. I mean, is it too much on the lily pad? I could make the lily pad highlights less bright. Okay, before, after. Just toned it down a little bit. Made a few more color tweaks and added a little highlight to the tongue here. Now it's finished, maybe. I'll look at it with fresh eyes tomorrow, but for now, it's finished. All right, it's now Tuesday. The hoarfrost lives somehow. It's day 4 of hoarfrost, although it is kind of a warm day, so I'm scared it's gonna go away. Because I feel like usually when there's hoarfrost, you wake up to it, and then by the afternoon, it's gone, it's all melted or what have you, but it's lasted 4 days. I just love it. Makes it feel winter wonderland instead of the trees just looking like dead sticks. Now, it is Tuesday, which is usually my main vlog editing day, but I did all that on Sunday. I still have to edit what I'm filming today, but I'm through most of it. And then yesterday, Monday, I did a lot of scheming, just kind of planning for the Froggie collection and packed up some orders, and then was trying to figure out the blank situation
because, I'm bringing back the Gallery Cats, Gallery Dogs t-shirts, and I'm trying to make new t-shirt designs in general. Just have more offerings, because right now for embroidery, there's only little duckies for a t-shirt, unless you do a pocket tee. So anyway, I was looking at blanks, and I've decided I'm going to move back towards comfort colors, because I just want one blank type that I can use for both DTF and embroidery. Because with the Gallery Cats, Gallery Dogs, I use the Bell and Canvas blanks, but they're too thin for embroidery. And so I don't want to have like the embroidery blanks and then the DTF blanks. I just want one. So I was looking into that and like planning out colors, because I also want to expand what color, like how many colors I offer. Like right now we do have comfort colors for pocket tees and boxy tees. So boxy, we only have 2 colors, a light blue and a light purple. I'm going to bring in pepper, which is the faded black, and then ivory. Sadly, there's not that many color options for the boxy tees, and most of them are like ultra pale colors. Christian stopped and looked over, and I was like, what's he looking at? Oh, that. A Keek on my shoulder. She's just extra tiny. And then for pocket tees, I want to bring in more colors. I kind of want to bring in the washed denim, which is a light blue. We already have a light blue, so I might discontinue the current one, which is ultra light. Washed denim is what I originally did the Little Duckies t-shirt on. So it's a light blue, slightly desaturated, but it's very, very cute. And then I can't remember if there was another color I was bringing in. Anyway, I'm adding some extra colors to some of the blanks we already have. But then for the regular t-shirts, I currently do Gildan. I'm just going to swap over to comfort colors. And we're going to have like 7 or so color options, which is a lot. But luckily, t-shirts don't take up a lot of space. Plus, I want to bring in the long sleeve t-shirts as well. Those won't have that many colors because there just aren't that many for me to choose from. But yeah, we're gonna have all 4 t-shirt styles. Regular tee, pocket tee, boxy tee, which is a shorter torso kind of t-shirt, then the long sleeve tee. And then you could choose from any of those for like the DTF and the embroidery. I might limit colors if it's a color the design won't look good on, the same way I do right now for the sweatshirts. There's certain color combos I don't let you do, but then it's just universal across everything. So that's exciting. And then for the Froggie planning, this is the notebook I always use for shop planning. Frog collection. I just wanted to get my ideas down, a lot of which I've already talked about. Like the design elements, standalone frogs, kind of like the paint palette frogs. I could isolate each one individually, and then I could have a frog with extra element. I wrote bow, flower, bee, just something where it's not just the frog alone, but there's something attached to it, like the bow. And then I want like a full illustration, because the simple versions of the frogs might be digital art only. And then, then there's a full illustration that I cut up to turn into merch. So as examples, this was digital only, simple digital stuff. And then this was a full illustration that I cut up to make into merch. And I would love to incorporate craft supplies or art supplies somehow. And something that came to mind was a crafting table, and there are a bunch of frogs on there kind of wreaking havoc, or some might just be chilling, but they're interacting with the objects on the table. And I feel like that works well with the bow frog, because there could be a roll of ribbon and then the frogs next to it or on it wearing some of the ribbon, things like that, where it's just arts and crafts. Now for colors, I want something with this, but I don't know how limited I'm gonna make it yet. I kind of need to start and see where it goes, because there could be different color schemes for the simple art versus the full illustration. And think of like the Halloween Cats update. I had Halloween Cats and Floral Cats, and the background to Floral Cats was all this yellowy orange color, and then the background for the Halloween Cat stuff was brown, so it felt like 2 distinct color schemes. That's kind of what I want for this. So the simple art and the illustration don't have to match, because they're kind of like 2 separate product lines in a way. And look at these little froggies, they're so cute. And some items like the stickers would have even more variants, because there would be multiple options for die cuts. Probably gonna have more than one sticker sheet option. And I can also turn the frogs into a pattern as well, depending if I want a pattern for a certain product. There is one I'm thinking a pattern would work for. And I wrote, all art should be done by the end of January. And that specifically meant the illustrations, not necessarily the product design. Plus, as we get into early February, like it'll be Chinese New Year, so anything I'm ordering from there, I can't really get made first thing in February. It's gonna have to wait till after. And then I have things that are just made here in Canada, so those will be a quicker turnaround. So then I listed out product types, like what am I doing for this collection? Because I know I'm not doing a sketchbook. We're doing sketchbook for B collection. So I wrote die cut stickers. There would be multiple designs. Vinyl sticker sheets, Bop sticker sheets, which are the clear plastic ones. And I would love a zip. Like I'm picturing a DTF zip. There's this lightweight zip I've been meaning to do something on, and I love the light blue, and that would be the perfect color for this collection. So I don't know if it would be like something down the sleeves only. Would it also have a back graphic? It kind of gets expensive when you're doing DTF pieces that are that big. So I don't know if I would do both back and sleeve. I have to plan it out still, so we'll see where it goes. Then there would be sticky notes, notepads, one planner pad maybe, two, we'll see. Various washi tape designs, can even be clear washi, enamel pins, and then I wrote pens and hardcover journals. So those would be new things I haven't done before. I did look into pens when I did the stationery collection, but I was specifically looking into ones that had a design stamped onto the pen, so there's still a transparent background that shows the pen color underneath. But those require a custom mold, and they had a minimum order quantity of 10,000 per design. And so I was like, okay, let's not go with that. And so I shelved the pen idea. But now I want to bring it back, but in a different way, where it's just like an all over print on the pen, not the stamped design. So at least a couple. I want like maybe 2 pen designs, depends how it goes. Maybe I'll think of more, because there's like different color frogs. There could be one based around each frog color, but also depends like how the illustrating goes. I can't really decide till I have the art. And then the hardcover journals, I'm picturing something like this, where it's the PU leather, like a faux leather, with a colored end paper. You got the elastic, the ribbon, this kind of thing, and you can do a full print. So this is the item where I'm like, maybe a pattern would be our best option for this. I mean, pattern would also work really well for the pens. Or like a variant of the pattern. But yeah, this is something I've never done before. So I want this because like we have the sketchbooks, right? And then the Froggies don't get a book. So this way they do get a book, but I've just also wanted a different offering. And for these, they would have lined paper. And then I don't know if I'll do this right away, but at some point I do want books like this that have dot grid, especially because we're discontinuing dot grid for the embroidered sketchbooks just because I can't sell them. I can't sell enough because I have to order at least 500 dot grid of each design. So this would be a way to bring back dot grid in a different way. And for ruled notebooks, I've only ever done this style, like this, just like a cardstock cover, squishy coil. So this would be something different and a little fancier. So yeah, a bunch of our classic stationery and apparel items, but then a couple new things with the pen and hardcover notebook. And then I guess the lightweight zips are technically new because it's a blank I've never done before. I don't want to use those blanks for embroidery because they do have slimmer sleeves, and I'm scared embroidery would maybe get a little scratchy or something, because like this, the sleeve's so baggy, it doesn't bother at all. I don't even feel it when I bend my arms or anything. So that's why I like these Bella and Canvas ones for embroidery. But yeah, these other ones, they're nice and lightweight, which would be great for like spring, summer, what have you. There's no fleece on the inside. So yeah, those are all the plans. Now, one of my main priorities is getting the Froggie DTF and blanks ordered, because I want to release those this month alongside all the sticker sheets and the coloring book and the gallery cats and dogs shirt restock. But I'm waiting on some blank samples to come in. I think they're supposed to be delivered tomorrow because there are some colors of the shirts I haven't seen in person, and I want to see if that's one of the colors I want to stock permanently in the shop. So I could make the gang sheets for the DTF transfers and order those today. And I don't plan on pre-pressing any of these frogs. I think we'll do it entirely made to order, and hopefully things aren't too chaotic, because that means Christian's heat pressing and embroidering. I'm packing orders. I'm not dropping that many new products, so I don't know how chaotic it would be, but we are dropping a hero item, which is the coloring book. So I really don't know what to expect, but because I just want it offered on all the shirt colors, we got to do it made to order. And I also got to figure out the size of the graphic, because I originally pictured I was going to do a DTF design that's kind of tall on the front of the shirt, but this is a horizontal design, so it's going to be more like a chest design. So I need to figure out what would be a good width, because I've also only ever done a back design. The front maybe should be a little narrower. And again, I want to order 3 different transfer sizes for different shirt sizes. So I got to math out like the ratio. I was trying to think of what else I did yesterday. I brought in a bunch of boxes from the garage. They're almost all in here. There's just a couple bundles still left. But I also was looking at what I'm missing and ordering more boxes. And I refilled my big crinkle bin out here, just kind of getting some things in order, seeing what I have for shipping supplies, what I need more of. And I add everything to my cart on the packaging company website, like thepackagingcompany.com. That's what the company's called. And it was gonna cost $500 to ship it all here, which is wild, because like I used them for a while and then it stopped briefly because their shipping was over $300, but then it went back down, at least for like the amount of stuff I was ordering. It was still like over $200 or something, but it was more reasonable for the amount of stuff I'm ordering, and that's to ship it freight, which is on pallets. And then this time it was $500 even, and no matter how much stuff I removed from my cart, it was always $500, and I felt so defeated until I reduced my cart enough that freight was not even an option. I could choose like Canada Post, Purolator, that kind of thing. And in that case, it was $68 to ship, which is still hefty, but like, because it's big stuff, whatever. And so I split the order into 2 and paid $68 twice instead of paying $500 to have it all shipped together. So it took me a while to kind of figure out how I could break this up. And really, I actually needed 3 separate orders, but I just, like the 3rd order would have been really small. So I just reduced how many of some boxes I was ordering to keep it at 2 orders that could ship Canada Post, and that way I'm paying like $130 some instead of $500. But that's actually kind of nice knowing that I can just place smaller orders, and it's actually more worth it to do a small order, because for some things I feel like, oh, I need to order in bulk, but this is one of those things I can just order boxes slowly in smaller quantities, and it will be actually beneficial for me to do it that way. And then I don't have to have crazy amounts of boxes on hand at all times, because I have so many different sizes, and we're introducing a new size for coloring books. It's like one of those easy fold mailers where you don't pre-assemble the box, you just kind of like fold it up around the product, and it can do a 1/2 inch thickness or a 1 inch thickness, and that way it could hold 1 coloring book or 2, and then possibly also some sticker sheets flat on top. Like any flat items could probably squeeze in there. Yeah, just because my other smallest rectangular box is going to be kind of big for it, because the box is too deep. You could fit like 3 books at least in there, and then also just so much space around it. So I wanted something that will fit a little more snug. This is not the final book. Okay, this was just that weirdo sample I ordered from Mix'em, so don't judge that. And I do still have some older versions of this box that are a little shallower, which is nice, and a little smaller this way. But I still wanted book-specific ones, and I don't want to ship the books in a flat, rigid mailer because I'm scared it's gonna crush the corners a little bit. I feel like those book boxes will be perfect. I got an email from ShipStation, which is making me look into some stuff. Apparently, they're changing how they do their payment plans. They used to have a whole bunch of tiers, which look like this. So this is what they currently do, which is all these different tiers. It's a lot of tiers, but it's kind of nice that you can pick where you are. I sit at silver. I used to sit at bronze with an upgrade to gold during big shop updates, but they removed a feature from bronze, and so now I don't go below silver. The feature being my custom packing slips that I print off. Like I've coded it to appear how I want. Anyway, so I'm sitting at this silver tier usually, which is $60 US a month. But now they're changing it so there are only 3 paid tiers and then a 4th one, which is a free tier. But I don't know what that means for me. Like, can I hold on to my silver pricing? Or like where am I going to end up in the new system? And what also is catching my attention is that the ability to use your own carrier to buy shipping labels is now an extra added on fee. And I do use my own carrier. I use my own Canada Post account, not ShipStation's Canada Post account, because I get way better rates. But they're going to start charging a fee for your packages And I'm trying to figure out how much that's gonna be because they have a little chart here, but it's confusing. So it's saying like if you're on the starter plan, you can ship up to 50 packages a month for $15. That seems exorbitantly pricey. But it also said there's no fee if you're on the premium account. But then what's this? So I'm wondering if that's just like the base price of the subscription and then there's more. But it almost looks like there's supposed to be another table. Your carrier add-on fees by plan. And then it's blank, and then plans begin at the shipment tiers listed. So I'm like, okay, well, how much is it gonna cost to ship 1,000 packages a month? I might be forced to upgrade to the highest tier, which is $350 a month. I'm currently paying $60 a month. Like, what's going on? Maybe I can be grandfathered into old rates and stick to silver, but like, you know, they're gonna force me to upgrade during a shop update. Once I go over 1,000 orders, I'm gonna be forced to go up. And then I would have to choose one of the new plans. Like, that's how they're gonna get me. Ah! Wait, can I still upgrade to gold right now and then just stay at gold? That might be my best option. Assuming I would get grandfathered into the old plans. I gotta research more. Because yeah, as of right now, I can select a plan and it's the old system. Yeah, I think what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna upgrade to gold while I still can and just sit there because I'm scared that down the road, if I downgrade, I'm not gonna be able to upgrade again without going to the new plan because somehow I must be grandfathered into the old pricing. But I don't know how long I'm grandfathered into the switching between plans, so I might play it safe. Just upgrade to the $100 a month plan and just sit there. I don't have to worry about switching it back and forth, I guess, too. Okay, I clicked update and it worked. It says I'm now on gold plan. And hopefully I don't have to pay any extra for having my Canada Post account linked. So far, no. It seems like they made this change in late 2025. And yeah, I don't know. Confusion all around on my end, but as long as I don't have to upgrade to that new plan, I'm good. I asked their AI chatbot, and if I didn't get a response, I was going to actually try to email ShipStation, but it says if your account was created before a major plan or pricing change, you may be grandfathered into your original plan and pricing. This means you can usually keep your current plan and rate as long as you don't make changes. However, if you upgrade, downgrade, or switch plans, you'll likely be moved to the current pricing structure. So I think I made the right choice. Upgrade to gold while I still can and then sit there. Or I'm just paying extra for nothing. Okay, now on to the DTF gang sheets. No, the hoarfrost. No. That went away real fast. This is my list, by the way, for shirt colors. Not all the colors are pictured there because for some of the other types, I'm getting different color. I forgot about light green for pocket tees, though. It says light green. It doesn't look very light, does it? But these swatches I know are not 100% accurate because I have a violet shirt. It does not look like that. I have washed denim. It's a little brighter than that. So we'll see what light green looks like in person. That's one of the ones I ordered. Same with Crunchberry. And then I also ordered Flow Blue for the long sleeve. That's why it's got a question mark. I'm like, I want to see it in person because the washed denim was not an option for the long sleeve. And here were my previous numbers for the cat and dog t-shirt stuff. My transfer width is gonna have to be narrower than those because it's the front of a shirt and just different kind of graphic. Like if I reduced it by 2 inches, would that be enough? I might have to print out the image and just kind of hold it up to my shirt and see. Okay, I made a little formula where I can input how many transfers I want to order here. And then it'll tell me how many of each size to order. This is assuming 34% are size 1, 46% are size 2, and 20% of the transfers are size 3. But it's also going to depend how many I can fit on a gang sheet. That's going to determine exactly how many I order. And I'm probably going to go higher than 200, actually. Should I go 300? Okay, printing this off just on the Brother printer, so it's gonna look like booty, but I'm printing off a 6-inch width, a 6.5, and a 7, just to gauge what I want the smallest transfer to be, and then each transfer that's bigger will just go up by 1 inch of whatever I choose. So the shirt I'm wearing right now is a Comfort Colors medium, which would be the smallest size transfer. So like how big do we want this on the shirt? Because yes, I originally pictured bigger when it was going to be a tall rectangular design, but for something like this, I think it just like a little on the small side would look better. So that's the 6. It's kind of hard to tell with the white paper behind it. I need true transparency. I'm also going to go look at this in the mirror, not just on the camera screen. This is the in-between. You probably sit a little lower, like... It would sit about there. It's about a hand's width down, about 3 inches. Okay, back from the bathroom. I like the biggest one, honestly. Like, some graphics would look cute. It's just a tiny thing in the middle, kind of like the bunnies. But I don't know. For this one, I like this. So if size 1's getting a 7-inch, size 2 would get 8, size 3 would get 9. For the gallery shirts, it was going up by 2 inches each, but those were bigger graphics. Like, this is smaller, so a 1-inch difference is actually quite a bit of a difference. Like, just compare this 6-inch to this 7-inch. It's a big difference in total surface area of the design. Oh my god, I keep picking up my phone and going straight to TikTok or Reddit. I need to stop. It's been a distraction heavy day. Come on, Bailey, aren't you enticed by these spreadsheet numbers? Well, anyway, here's how many gang sheets I'm going to order of each for cat and dog, which gets us this many transfers. And then here, I can't math it out yet till I figure out how many transfers I can fit on one sheet. But it'll be a lot because this design is much smaller than the cat and dog one. You know, for the lily pad art, I could put all 3 sizes on a gang sheet potentially and just have them at the ratio I want. And then I'm just ordering that one gang sheet however many times over. Of course, if I want to restock just one size of transfer, I'd have to make a new gang sheet, but I feel like that'll make my job easier today. So with DTF, you don't want any transparent pixels along the edge. This is anti-aliasing, and it just helps edges look a little smoother and like less pixelated and chunky. But we don't want that because when they print DTF, they first print a layer of white and then color. And so if you have white showing on the edge of your DTF, that's probably why. And so usually I get around that by just duplicating a bunch of times, because watch the edge crisp up as I hit Control J. But there's a limit to it where it stops and there are still some transparent pixels. So I was looking into some alternate solutions. And the first thing I was told to check was go to the image size setting and then make sure resample was set to nearest neighbor hard edges, but it didn't modify the existing layer of the Froggies. And then I followed exactly these instructions and it worked. And so I screenshot this and saved it, and I'm gonna reference that every time I go to make a DTF transfer. For the gallery cats and dogs, it didn't really matter because they're pure white, but this has color, so I need to make sure my file is pristine. So this was the before with all the transparent pixels, and here is after. So, you know, you can see how it looks less smooth. But once we're all zoomed out and it's printed and stuff, you won't even be able to tell. Like, maybe we'll see a tiny bit of that, but what a difference. And it also goes to show how nice anti-aliasing is usually. Because zooming out to about the same level here, you can see that staircase edge, and then with the anti-aliasing, you don't see it at all. So usually anti-aliasing is good, but in terms of DTF, no, it's not good. Now, one problem is if I scale it, it brings back the anti-aliasing, so I'll have to do that trick to each size. You know, I've done these tricolor bags before. We had Luna pink, and then we had witch hat ones. Well, what if we did the Froggie DTF on this blue? That would be for the main update, not for the t-shirt drop. But if I'm also doing an embroidered tee, it might make more sense to embroider the t-shirt design on this instead of doing the DTF transfer Froggie. I'm not sure. I can put a pin in that idea because I don't have to order those yet. Because, yeah, here's one of the witch hat ones, and we'd have Froggie instead. Maybe the size 2 transfer, so it'd be a little bit bigger than this. What was that about? Why'd you just jump straight into Link? But embroidery just looks so good on these. Although whatever t-shirt embroidery I do would be smaller than this. So would that be too small? Just a little something in the middle. Depends what I design, I guess. Both are options. I suppose I could offer both, but it's one of those things I'd like to pre-make, so there might have to be set inventory levels if I do both, and I'd have to just kind of predict which would be more popular. Could do an audience poll. Those usually are not accurate, but yeah. Okay, well, my gang sheet is ready. I'll show it to you after I put this geek cheek.
So here it is. This is what it actually looks like without the gray background, but I had that there so you could see the Bailey J logos on the side. So I tried to match the ratio of what I had in my spreadsheet, which is why it's like this. So we do have all 3 sizes on one sheet, which is not how I did Gallery Cats, but because this is such a smaller transfer, I figured why not have all 3 on one sheet. So there's size 1, and then there's 2 rows of size 2, and then size 3 over here. And then if I do end up doing totes, I'll have to order more of whatever size I end up going with for those. Oh, the battle is not over yet. The transparent pixels are back after rotating it, which is odd because I tested that. I rotated it, no blank pixels, sweet. And so I bulk did the whole thing, and they all have transparent pixels now. Wait a minute, it's only affecting size 2, so I can just redo that one because the rest are looking crisp.
So yeah, I'm just gonna fix that up, and then it'll be supper time, and after supper it's game stream night. So that's how I'm spending the rest of my evening. I'm ending the vlog here, so thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Kiki, how am I gonna get this file fixed with you here? Yeah. Big book of family card games. You know I like my card games. We could play some new ones. Oh, this is right up my alley.
Yeah, how's the thinking? This way forever.